Okay, hi everyone. We're on page 222 of Unit 10. This is preparing to read vocabulary, and we have an exciting story here which the authors are using to give you examples of how to use the vocabulary. Now these are pretty easy words. I think we know most of them. If there's one that you don't know, please pause the video, go to Google Translate or go to learnersdictionary.com and look up that word. Okay, so it says the words in blue below are used in reading 1, and reading 1 is going to be over here, the Deadly Summit. Read the paragraph about a climbing expedition. And we know from the page before that an expedition is a trip made for a specific purpose. So in this situation, the specific purpose is to reach the summit, to reach the top of the mountain. I have no idea why people do this, but lots of people are crazy enough to do it. So that is their task, that is their job, that is their goal of the expedition. Okay, then we're going to match the correct form of the word to its definition down here. Okay, so it says on November 8, 2014, 3 climbers set out to reach the summit, the peak, of one of the highest peaks in Southeast Asia, Myanmar. Myanmar is a country. Myanmar's, I have no idea how to pronounce that, Hakabo Razi. So this is a different mountain. We're not talking about K2. This is a different mountain in Myanmar. To travel as lightly as possible on their final day, and we know the final day of an expedition is usually when you're reaching the summit, right? So you do a final camp, and then you try to go to the summit, the top of the mountain, and back. To travel as lightly as possible on their final day, they left their food and their gear. Synonym for gear? What do you think? I would say equipment. They left their food and their gear behind at camp. It was a decision that would determine the fate of the expedition. Okay, did you find a synonym for fate? Okay, synonyms for fate in this situation could be result, destiny, or outcome. So the fate of the expedition. Will they succeed in reaching the top? Will they fail? Will all of them make it back alive? Those would all be fates or results or outcomes of the expedition. So they left their gear behind at camp, and it was a decision that would determine the fate of the expedition. Was it a good decision or was it a bad decision? That's what we're going to find out. Their final task, synonym for task, I would say job or challenge. Their final task was to complete the last few kilometers to the summit. But after 4 hours of climbing, they were still not close enough. Climber Corey Richards still recalls, synonym for recalls, I would say remembers. He still remembers his sensation, synonym for sensation, feeling. His sensation of fear as the team neared the peak. These are his words. I think we should turn around now. If the team carried on, he realized, they would have to spend a terrifying night on the mountain with no tents, sleeping bags, or food. The team agreed to end its expedition and to descend, synonym for descend, go down, Hakabo Razi the next day. So what was the fate, the outcome? Was it successful? No. They decided to give up, to save their lives and go down the mountain the next day. Climber Renan Ozturk feels they made the right choice. The decision is, do you want to push hard enough to lose your toes, your fingers, or your life? Presumably from frostbite. That's always the trick with Himalayan climbing. You have to be good enough to know when to turn around. Okay, so they failed in their expedition, but they saved their lives, their fingers, and their toes. So hopefully you had a chance to do the vocabulary activity, and these are the answers. To go down, descend. To remember, recall. And these are verbs, activities, things that you do. A feeling or emotional state is a noun because it's a feeling. Sensation, and we know ation is the ending of a lot of nouns in English. Extremely frightening, terrifying. An assignment or a job, it's a noun because of the an and the a. A task. Equipment is also a thing, a noun, gear. And then another noun, a result or an outcome that is beyond your control would be fate. All right, good job, everybody.